The tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman, actor. Chadwick Boseman dies at 43. Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman, cancer, aged 43, dies at 40. The tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther star, dies of cancer, aged 43. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther actor, dies at 43 after private 4-year battle with colon cancer, as his wife and family pay tribute to a true fighter. Tributes would pour in as celebrities and fans mourn the death of actor Chadwick Boseman. Rest in power, King.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. And me as a young black man, he was really impactful. It kind of hurt like a different way. It's the first black superhero, and I actually went to the movies and watched the movie multiple times, learned a lot from it, and it hurt.
A lot of different roles. He was a great actor, and he gave us a lot of pride for what he did, the roles he chose.
The fact that he was the actor that portrayed the film that changed so much, it was like a big step in the racial movement to have that person of color headline a superhero film. And the fact that it was him, and the fact that he made such a great impact and is going down as one of the greatest superhero, comic actors is just great.
The actor was immensely successful for portraying black icons Jackie Robinson and James Brown before being known as the regal Black Panther in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He made everyone feel loved, heard, and seen. He played great, iconic roles because he possessed inside of himself that connection to greatness to be able to so richly bring them to life. He had a heroic spirit and marched to the beat of his own drum, hence his excellence as an artist and the incredible courage and determination as he faced life challenges while still guiding us all. Many actors before have been celebrated for duties outside of their profession, but Chadwick Boseman's commitment to his charity work and his kindness behind camera led him to being adored all over the world.
You know, it's day to day, it's a different experience. I mean, you try to keep things the same, and they are. You still living, breathing, eating, loving your family, your friends, but it is a little bit different when you go outside.
The condition of his health was unknown to anyone except for his closest associates. Boseman was more than just an actor. He was an activist fighting for representation for the black community in the highly homogenized world of Hollywood. Although his abridged acting career and untimely death has been compared to the likes of Heath Ledger and River Phoenix, it is his death alongside the deaths of civil rights leaders Martin Luther King Jr. and pop culture icons like Aaliyah and Tupac that are among the many tragic examples of what might have been if the world were a little bit different. Undaunted by mortality, he embraced his roles of heroic black men battling insurmountable forces. That realization is what makes his death at 43 especially tragic. Even though he was already an icon, a king, a cultural force, his roles in movies like Marshall, The Avengers Saga, The Five Bloods, and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom have given him new dimensions.
You're still normal. Everything is you're normal. It's just sometimes you don't realize that people are watching you, or you don't realize that that it's different for other people. You know, that's what's harder about it.
Boseman, born and raised in Anderson, South Carolina, was fascinated by the potential and power of the performing arts. In addition to being an artist, he was talented at drawing and sculpting. And he was also a competitive basketball player, constantly competing with his older brother, Derek. His brother, Kevin, who was a dancer and actor, was also an idol to him. While watching Kevin perform in the back of the theater with his mother, he fell in love with the theater himself. His creative energy was initially directed toward becoming a writer and director. When his basketball teammate was shot and killed, he wrote and staged his first play, Crossroads, in his junior year. I just had a feeling that this was something that was calling me. Suddenly, playing basketball wasn't as important. He received his Bachelor of Fine Arts in Directing from Howard University in 2000. Several of his classmates were accepted into the prestigious Oxford Midsummer Program of the British American Drama Academy in London, but they cannot afford to attend. Felicia Rashad, a mentor to Boseman, reached out to Denzel Washington, who helped raise funds for the program. Denzel Washington, he was a gentle soul and a brilliant artist who would stay with us for eternity through his iconic performances over his short yet illustrious career. God bless Chadwick Boseman.
I have no doubt that there are similar stories at boys and girls clubs and theaters and churches across the country where I know you have also inspired and motivated others. An offering from a sage and a king is more than silver and gold. It is a seed of hope, a bud of faith. There is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington.
Eventually, he decided to pursue acting more seriously and moved to New York City after graduation. When he couldn't pay his rent in those early days, his parents supported him through film school. Later, Boseman revealed that he only became a performer because he wanted to know what the actors were doing and how to talk to them. And it was then that he realized he's supposed to do it all. Boseman lived in Brooklyn during the early years of his career and worked as a drama teacher at Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in Harlem. His specialization was in the study of teaching of Black history, a field that he was highly passionate about. He moved to Los Angeles in 2008 as he worked to establish himself as a successful actor he would be. The actor started his career by playing a young man in the soap opera, All My Children, who joins a gang. It didn't sit well with Boseman that the character seemed cynical or stereotypically written. When the network executives invited him to do more episodes, he wanted to know about the character's backstory. He asked about the man's parents. The executive informed him that the character's father was absent when he was young and that his mother used heroin.
Look, I can't hear you.
Reggie, look, I was thinking, that maybe you could crash at my place.
Your place?
Just until social services finds a group home.
No group homes. Look, you can just squash that right now.
Look, Reggie, it's that or Judy. You know what? Fine. You decide, because you're doing a great job so far.
Damn right, I can take care of myself.
Yeah, we can all see that.
Look, I don't need your charity.
No, you may not need that, but what you do need is to be examined. So come on, Reggie, let me at least take a...
That week, Boseman was let go. His agent told him that executives found him to be difficult. Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is. As a result, Michael B. Jordan was cast in the role, who later reunited with Boseman on Black Panther in 2018. As a result, Boseman became picky. It was important to him to play characters he felt proud to play, men who impacted society. It was years before it paid off. In 2013, he was cast as Jackie Robinson in 42, and it all came together. The portrayal of Jackie Robinson, the first African-American to play in Major League Baseball in the modern era, was a turning point in his career. His filmography soon became dominated by biographical films. Some people have said you don't need to do any more biopics, but I don't agree with that. A lot of our stories haven't been told. In this gripping emotional exchange opposite Harrison Ford, Boseman manages to capture Robinson's exasperation and unrequited rage.
Get off the field. Brooklyn Dodgers ain't changing our way of living. Wearing me down.
You are not the only one with something at stake here.
You want a player who doesn't have the guts to fight back?
No, I want a player who's got the guts not to fight back.
You give me a uniform. You give me a number on my back. I'll give you the guts.
The fact that Boseman handled the pressures associated with playing defiant black characters on screen allowed him to remain level-headed at all times, even when overwhelming odds surrounded him. He has been an inspirational figure since day one. He portrayed James Brown, the American singer and songwriter, in 2014's Get On Up. Initially, Boseman was concerned about not living up to the monumental expectations attached to the role of a legendary figure. He worked with choreographer Akamon Jones for 5 to 8 hours a day for 2 months to prepare. He was also instructed by Mick Jagger on how to interact with an audience while performing live.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
After playing Robinson, he didn't want to appear in another biopic so soon, but was sought out by director Tate Taylor as his only choice. The actor's co-star, Dan Aykroyd, praised Boseman's portrayal of Brown, saying the role was neither an imitation nor an impression of Brown, rather, a very accurate portrayal of him. Yama Brown. Chad was an amazing person, so focused, so accomplished, and an amazing spirit. Along with the rest of the world, I will mourn his passing for some time. But I know God knows best. I know he is in a better place. I also know that we are better because we had a chance to know him and experience his greatness firsthand. During filming, Boseman remained in character, not as a method acting approach, but rather as a necessity due to the fact that he held his vocal cords unnaturally to imitate Brown's southern drawl. However, Boseman is a chameleon who easily adapts to Brown's gravelly voice, his soulful energy and dynamic footwork, and his sense of showmanship.
People, James, when is it gonna be when we up there?
We'll be back in 10.
Right now. What?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, get up. You know that. What's wrong, Mazel?
You can't play that like you told us. It doesn't work musically.
Doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Get up. Doesn't feel good.
Yeah, never.
Get up. If it sounds good and it feels good, then it's musical.
You're entering a game here where the rules are already set out.
I'm just a street kid from Augusta, Georgia. Now, tell me what you see.
Typically, he was fantastic as Brown and brought him back to life with his performance.
You just have to dive into it. I mean, you know, for me, it was a fun thing to do, to listen to James Brown's music, learn songs, learn the dances, you know, reading the biographies.
More than any other actor, Boseman conveyed the real motivations behind legends such as Robinson's sense of duty or Brown's sense of independence. He performed with less newsreel footage mimicry and more tactile reality, and his characters were fewer ghosts and more animate works of art. The fact that his work was never received praise remains baffling.
You know, it's the type of thing that you love to do as an actor. Like, it's why you learned to do it, why you suffered for years, and why you starved and all that stuff. So to be paid to do it is amazing. Like, so you know, that's how you do it, is that you just dive all the way into it and become possessed by it.
Boseman had sold a thriller screenplay to Universal Pictures in 2014, which he continued to collaborate on with creative partner Logan Coles and planned to star in. Even though he still wanted to be a director, he decided to focus on his acting career first, saying that maybe it would be easier if you were a successful actor. The actor emphasized the importance of shining a spotlight on stories that highlight the achievements of African Americans, with his performance in the 2017 film Marshall, portraying Thurgood Marshall, the first African American justice of the United States Supreme Court.
I only represent innocent people, people accused because of their race. That's my mission.
I never touched that woman.
I need a partner who the jury can relate to.
Sam Friedman.
Good to meet you, Sam. Hey, give me a hand with these, would you?
What have you got in here, cement?
Guns.
Books, Mr. Friedman. You just sweep through town, stirring up all kinds of ugliness. My life is on the line here.
Hey, Attorney Friedman, hold on a minute.
What do you want?
You're one of us now, Sam.
A real fighter.
When we made the film, I think we thought it would come out during the Obama administration. It wasn't quite ready yet, so we waited to do it now. To be honest with you, I'm just happy that the film exists. I'm happy that we waited. It's a blessing that we were a little bit patient about it.
Upon being asked about his experiences as a black man, he related them to Marshall's. I'm from Anderson, South Carolina, but I grew up in the South, so I know what it is to ride the bus to school and have Confederate flags from trucks and buildings around me. To see a parking lot full of people with Confederate flags and know what that means. In those days, African Americans were deprived of rights, as he has experienced being stopped by police for random searches because he fit a description.
This movie sort of presents a hope and a light that we can get through this time, and it also puts a sort of a mark or a target there that this time when we get through it, we have to do it better so that we don't end up with similar problems.
He learned how to play baseball. He learned how to dance, embodying James Brown in Get On Up. From there, he became the first African American on the Supreme Court in Marshall. And then came T'Challa. Through T'Challa, made his film debut in Captain America, Civil War in 2016. His popularity didn't fully blossom until the blockbuster film Black Panther in 2018. Letitia Wright, dark clouds surrounding confusion setting in, tears flowing, rivers so deep. I didn't know this is what I was waking up to. My brother and angel on earth departed, a soul so beautiful. When we walked into the room, there was calm. You always moved with grace and ease. Every time I saw you, the world would be a better place. Black Panther was the first superhero film to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, while it remains the highest-grossing Marvel project without Avengers in the title.
We as humans aspire to be better just like those characters. Those stories have helped us get through cancer. They have helped us when we were bullied at school. They have taken the pressure off us when the daily weight of life is just too much.
A powerful commentary on the evils of colonialism and the liberation of the Black community, Boseman dismantled a lot of stereotypes with his majestic performance. As a Black superhero, he faced a familiar set of challenges. His performance would not just be a display of craft, as it might have been for his white counterparts. It had become a piece of history. It would be impossible for him to avoid pressure, since a Black epic, even a period piece, is always expected to be essential and representative of the past, present, and future.
I know it's important. It's an important thing to people. I'm just honored to be the person that's doing it. You know, I have to also give credit to Wesley Snipes because he, you know, got to give credit to him for what he's done. But this is also its own unique moment. So I know it's very special.
He likely felt the gravity of it all, the fears that a Black film would lose money overseas, that a Black director wouldn't afford the same opportunities as other directors. But he never let this show. Angela Bassett. It was meant to be for Chadwick and I to be connected, for us to be family. But what many don't know is our story began long before his historic turn as Black Panther. When I received my honorary degree from Howard University, he was the student assigned to escort me that day. And here we were, years later, as friends and colleagues, enjoying the most glorious night ever. I am honored that we enjoyed that full circle experience. This young man's dedication was awe-inspiring, his smile contagious, his talent unreal. So, I pay tribute to a beautiful spirit, a consummate artist, a soulful brother. Thou art not dead, but flown afar. All you possessed, Chadwick, you freely gave. Rest now, sweet prince. Although he was playing a superhero, Boseman did his best to make T'Challa seem human, starting with his accent. Boseman reportedly insisted that the character have an African accent when Marvel originally wanted an English or an American accent. It was soon apparent that the sound of Boseman shouting Wakanda forever was a clear signal of endorsement and a revolutionary cry.
The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. The revolution will not be televised.
By spinning a history of a brightly colored, prosperous African kingdom, free of the ravages of slavery, the world forever served both to recount history and to invoke African-American mythology, the romantic idea that African-Americans all originated from kings and queens.
When Stan Lee created Black Panther, when he created Black Panther, he created it in a time, it's 1966. You have to think about what was going on in that time. Vietnam War, Civil Rights Movement, the beginning of the Black Power movement, and the ideologies that were spoken of, that were displayed in Black Panther, you have to think about it's beyond civil rights, it's Black empowerment. We as African Americans were not just victims, we were not just the colonized, we were not just slaves. We were kings and queens.
There are very few actors who embody blackness as powerfully as Boseman. Boseman's popularity had never been higher, but he kept choosing projects, his stories, carefully. Even though Boseman's accomplishments were impressive at the time, they seem even more powerful and heartbreaking in retrospect. Besides fighting a battle with enemies on screen and racial injustice off screen, he also faced an internal enemy, something as horrific as cancer.
In aspiring to be better, the characters have shown us what it means to have extraordinary power, for sometimes we also have power. It shows us how to use that power. The difference between an enemy and a superhero is that responsibility, how they use that moment.
As a result of Black Panther's success, Boseman appeared in Infinity War and Endgame, the final installments in the Avengers series.
You can see in the industry that people are starting to want to put their dollars, put their money where their mouth is, behind films where we are the leads or we are the directors and producers and whatnot. And so I think that is a change. But it's not just Black Panther. Black Panther was just the culminating moment.
Boseman struck a perfect balance between the serenity of a statesman and the excitement of a superhero. This made his fight sequences with Michael B. Jordan more powerful. Michael B. Jordan. One of the last times we spoke, you said we were forever linked, and now the truth of that means more to me than ever. Since nearly the beginning of my career, starring with All My Children when I was 16 years old, you paved the way for me. You showed me how to be better, honor purpose, and create legacy. And whether you've known it or not, I've been watching, learning, and constantly motivated by your greatness. I wish we had more time. I'm more aware now than ever that time is short with people we love and admire. I'm gonna miss your honesty, your generosity, your sense of humor, and incredible gifts. I miss the gift of sharing space with you in scenes. I'm dedicating the rest of my days to live the way you did. A metaphorical struggle is at play between their ideas regarding diaspora and a continent that mourns the abductions of its people. Boseman utilizes furious disappointment when T'Challa willfully rejects his father's abandonment of Killmonger, Jordan's character, in the film's message of overcoming adversity. We might mourn the past, but we are more than the actions of our ancestors. We can be better. We should all learn from our ancestors' mistakes, and every race should be exposed to this message. We can all be better. Ryan Coogler. In African cultures, we often refer to loved ones that have passed on as ancestors. Sometimes you are generically related, sometimes you are not. I had the privilege of directing scenes of Chad's character, T'Challa, communicating with the ancestors of Wakanda. We were in Atlanta, in an abandoned warehouse, with blue screens and massive movie lights, but Chad's performance made it feel real. It is with a heavy heart and a sense of deep gratitude to have ever been in his presence that I have to reckon with the fact that Chad is an ancestor now, and I know that he will watch over us until we meet again.
First, giving honor to the Creator and my ancestors on whose shoulders I stand. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. She is not here in attendance, but by tomorrow, she will have seen this. Let me also acknowledge my professors who have passed on to the other side. Because of work obligations over the past few years, I miss memorials that were...
Despite all of this, Boseman used the platform he had to make people aware of the many issues of racism and inequality that continued to plague our era. All of this was done as he was suffering from cancer. He appeared in Brian Kirk's 2019 action thriller, 21 Bridges, as an intelligent New York Police Department detective. Although Boseman wasn't playing an icon this time, he worked with Kirk to revitalize a genre film with depth and nuance. The film took 40 days to make, and therefore, long, hard takes were required. Boseman never revealed to Kirk what he was going through privately. He was not going to let his illness take his joy for living. He helped shape many of the characters that he played, and now he was getting credit for it. His skill as an actor was connected to his appetite as a storyteller.
I asked for you for a reason.
I will find out.
We just killed cops. You need to run.
We gotta move fast. Cars not ours, plates are stolen. If we don't catch these guys in the next 3 or 4 hours, they vanish.
How you gonna do this?
Close the island. There are 21 bridges in and out of Manhattan. Shut them down. 3 rivers, close them. 4 tunnels, block them. Stop every train and loop the subways. Then, we flood the island with blue.
According to Boseman's co-star Sienna Miller, the actor contributed money from his own paycheck to boost her salary on their film 21 Bridges, since he felt that was what she deserved to be paid. Miller said, Boseman's generous financial offer demonstrates the actor's kind-heartedness. Boseman appeared in Spike Lee's brilliant 2020 effort, The Five Bloods, in which he plays one of 4 African-American veterans traveling to Vietnam looking for gold, only to find the horrors of a violent history there. While speaking about Boseman's character, Lee stated, "The character is heroic. It's a superhero. Who do you cast?" They cast Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman is a superhero. Denai Guerrero. He was zen and sweet and funny, with the very best laugh. Attentive and truly, truly good. I can't even wrap my mind around this loss. A loss resonating in my own heart, as well as around the globe. The children he inspired, my heart aches for them, to lose their hero just as they finally found him. I am so thankful to have taken the Black Panther journey with him, to have known him, spent time in his light and leadership, and to call him forever a friend. Lala Umgafalo Kumkani. Rest in peace, O King. Boseman took on the roles in The Five Bloods and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom as bucket list opportunities to work with Spike Lee and with Ma Rainey producer Denzel Washington, and the chance to perform in an August Wilson play. He wanted to make these non-superhero films because he felt that if you do the films you plan to do, you won't feel fulfilled as an artist.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Vietnam.
Look what I found.
Better man in all his glory.
Who was that guy?
That brother was the best damn soldier that ever lived. We bury it. Later on, we come back and collect.
He continued to champion causes he cared about in response to the police killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and the Black Lives Matter movement. He signed a letter in June 2020, signed by 300 African-American figures in Hollywood in support of divesting from police, initiated by actor Kendrick Sampson. Upon his friend, billionaire film producer Thomas Tull, telling him that he wanted to raise money for African-American communities hit hardest by COVID on Jackie Robinson Day, Boseman offered to be the face of the campaign, posting a video on Instagram. The last time Tull saw Boseman was just before COVID lockdowns. It was evident that Boseman was ill. When Boseman was asked if he was okay, his reply was simple. Yep, getting through it. Boseman's philanthropic force paid it forward. As he suffered from his 4-year cancer battle, he donated his time to work with several cancer foundations. As a frequent visitor to St. Jude's and other childhood cancer treatment centers, he was known to surprise young fans. You can never go wrong when you invest in kids' futures. While the COVID-19 pandemic occurred in April 2020, the actor donated PPE equipment worth $4.2 million to hospitals serving Black communities. His kindness continued when he helped Disney's Black Panther film marketing campaign by supporting the fundraising drive and donated $10,000 for free movie screenings of the film to the Boys and Girls Club of Harlem.
I think the success of Black Panther, it proves something that many of us already knew, that our films, that they're marketable, that they're digestible, that people want to see us on screen. Our stories are compelling around the world.
His last tweet before his tragic death was to encourage people to exercise their right as citizens to vote, to participate in their democracy. Born out of love of country, it was so reflective of Boseman. The tweet was in support of Kamala Harris, being chosen as Joe Biden's running mate that day. Kamala Harris, heartbroken, my friend and fellow Bison. Chadwick Boseman was brilliant, kind, learned, and humble. He left too early, but his life made a difference. Sending my sincere condolences to his family. The loss of Boseman to the Black community, as well as the world of cinema, is immeasurable.
He's a historical figure as the Black Panther, but also such a good and decent human being.
Chadwick, my friend, you will forever be remembered by your warm smile, your kind heart, and your fierce courageousness through great adversity.
Boseman died at home with his family by his side in Los Angeles, with his sheer will to survive and preserve. Boseman brought us countless films and characters fans love. During the time between Get On Up and Marshall, Boseman had been diagnosed with colon cancer. Very few knew. Boseman didn't want people to worry about him. Marshall to the Five Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and many more were filmed during and between countless surgeries and chemotherapy treatments. The talented actor was one of the leading voices of his generation. It is a tragedy that his talents were cut short, be it his acting performances or the directional efforts he always wanted to undertake. Upon reviewing Boseman's interviews now, it becomes apparent how little he revealed about his private life. His illness wasn't the only thing he kept to himself. He also kept his warm, observational sense of humor to himself. He did impressions. He loved sports. He was always reading. In 2016, while on a trip to Tuscany with his friends, he sat outside doing martial arts for hours by himself. He was comfortable in his own skin. He was spiritual. He was a supportive friend. He was a real-life superhero. Boseman died on the same day that Jackie Robinson Day was being celebrated in Major League Baseball. The league states that his transcendent performance in 42 will stand the test of time and serve as a powerful vehicle to tell Jackie's story to audiences for generations to come. The Netflix adaptation of August Wilson's play Ma Rainey's Black Bottom in which he stars opposite Viola Davis in A Beautiful Farewell.
Where's the horn player?
I got a friend.
Come on, Levy. You rehearse like everybody else.
I'm gonna get me a band and make me some records. I knows how to play real music, not this jug band shit.
You call that playing music?
I know what I'm doing. Go on and fire me, I don't care.
When I got there, they began to say.
That's to get the people's attention. That's when you and Slow Drag come in with the rhythm part, me and Cutler play on the break.
Viola Davis, Chadwick, no words to express my devastation of losing you. Your talent, your spirit, your heart, your authenticity. It was an honor working beside you, getting to know you. Rest well, Prince. May flights of angels sing thee to thy heavenly rest. I love you.
You know, I saw that it was Viola. You know, anytime she asked me to come to something, I have to consider it if it can fit in my schedule.
Chadwick Boseman's performances elevated the biographical genre. He became the definition of bringing heroes to life.
We as humans aspire to be better just like those characters. Those stories have helped us get through cancer. They have helped us when we were bullied at school. They have taken the pressure off us when the daily weight of life is just too much.
He knew from the very beginning his life would be short. With that, he made the decision to be dedicated to his work and living his life like everyone else. Knowing how precious every moment was, he made an everlasting impression on everyone he worked with, and especially on the people who admired his talents.
You're still normal. Everything is, you're normal. It's just, sometimes you don't realize that people are watching you, or you don't realize that that it's different for other people. You know, that's what's harder about it.
He was always acting, always writing, always kind. He not only played a superhero, he became a hero.